Well, hello and welcome to the third edition of the Adidas Atlanta City Games. We're in Piedmont Park on a warm, humid Saturday afternoon here in Georgia. Olympic and world champions, world record holders and much other established talent as well as developing world-class talent are here for a feast of track and field these next 90 minutes or so. My name is Tim Hutchings, looking forward to being with you now for fabulous track and field action. There's this specially built 200-meter straight track across the middle of the park. Schools races are mixed in with the international action, the world-class action of the pro athletes. Good crowds building here too in Piedmont Park, and a lot to look forward to. There's a pole vault and long jump competition as well to cover the field. Cloudy skies here, although this cloud is gradually burning off. There is the schedule coming at us for this next couple of hours almost here. NBC taking the 3 to 4 p.m. window. If you're able to access that later on, which will be coming off air at just before 3 p.m. local time. As you can see, we get underway very shortly with the boys' 110-meter hurdles. That's our high school races. And then the women's 100-meter hurdles heats, 2 heats there before they progress through to the final later on. Girls' 100-meter hurdles for the high schoolers as well. The men's 100-meter heats, men's 200, a straight final. That the boys and girls 100 finals. They competed in their qualifying this morning. The women's long jump will be dipping in and out of that, and the women's 200 meters is a straight final as well. And then the boys and girls 200-meter finals again. Their qualifying was this morning just across the road. Well, there's the scene here, and it is pretty good conditions, I have to say, for sprinting. This is a festival of sprinting and hurdling. A few middle distance races in the very nice little stadium just across the road, about 60 or 80 yards away from where this camera is positioned. But no middle distance races here. This is fast and furious in the flesh. First race will be the boys' 110-meter hurdles. High schoolers, amongst the best in the country. Georgia State, very, very strong in the hurdles. So the athletes just getting ready. This race due underway at 1:40, so they've got a couple of minutes. An awful lot to be coordinated and got in place in this cauldron of a track facility, specially constructed track facility. Of course, this summer season just rumbling up to speed with the World Championships in September in Tokyo, Japan. That's the big target for all these athletes. We can go over now to the women's long jump final, which is already underway. 6 athletes in that. And this women's long jump, well, there is the field. Nikolai Williams is an 8:06 jumper. DeMarcus Simpson, he's an 8:19 jumper. High caliber field this. Emmanuel Archibald, 8:12. Tobias Montclair, 8:38, amongst the very best in the world, the Swede. Kerry McLeod with 8:40, the best of the Jamaicans. And Matteo Falani, well, he is a massive talent. There is a women's long jump competition as well here today. That's how they're going at the moment. Falani, 8 meters 28, 27 feet 2. That's a fabulous jumping. 8:22 is second place at the moment. Good speed on this runway, but that looked like it might have been just over the front edge of the board for McLeod. Kerry McLeod, 27 years old now. 2-time Olympian, competed in the long jump in Paris and finished 12th in the final last summer at those Olympic Games. Previous Olympic Games in Tokyo back in 2021, he competed in both the long jump and the final and the triple jump. Multi-talented individual. The pole vault underway as well. We'll take a look at that. This is the most technically demanding of all field events. The pole vault, of course, is only just getting underway. That a long jump competition for men. They're now in round 5, and I can tell you, McLeod leading with 8:33. That best effort just now. Falani's 8:28. in second place. Austin Miller, there's the start list for this men's pole vault competition. All American, and the USA pretty much dominates the world of pole vaulting, apart from a certain individual, Mondo Duplantis from Sweden, who is US raised but competes for Sweden. His world record 6 meters 27, set back in February indoors. That's 20 feet 6 3/4. They're still setting up the pole vault competition. That isn't yet underway, and they're still setting up the track for these hurdles. Massive volunteers contributing to today's events, and a massive shout out to them for their efforts. But we can ease back over to the long jump, about 60 or 80 yards away. So McLeod leading then with that 8:33, 8 meters 33, that's 27 feet 4. Leads by 2 inches from Furlani's 8 meters 28, 27 feet 2. Emmanuel Archibald, well, he's in third place. There's his series, 8:13, 7:88, 8:22, his best. That came in round 3, 26 feet 11 3/4. Waiting for that 4th round jump to come up. 8:22 for Archibald. That is a new lifetime best he's produced in round 3. Fabulous jumping from him, the Guyanan. Now, Furlani next to go. We are in round 5, the coming to the last chance saloon end of this competition. Furlani in second place at the run. He fouled out in round 4. That's nice. He's one of those jumpers who looks to defy gravity. He is quite astonishing when he's in the air. 8:28 his opener. That's his best so far, 27 feet 2. He lost that lead in the previous round to Kerry McLeod. Furlani, well, set a world under 20 record in June last year as runner-up at the European Championships in Rome. He is a very, very special talent. His season's best, 8:37. He's not 8 meters 37. He's not far shy of that today. That's 27 feet 5.5. He's jumped 27 feet 2 today. And next to go, DeMarcus Simpson. In fact, just checking. This is not DeMarcus Simpson. This is Kerry McLeod, according to my computer system. No number being worn. It always helps if the athletes do wear the number on their front. DeMarcus Simpson, yeah, opening the 6th and final round there with a no jump. Frustrating series for him. He's had 3 no jumps. It is DeMarcus Simpson. His best 7:84 was his opener. It promised a lot. 25 feet 8 3/4. But that's his best of the day, I'm afraid. His next best came in round 2, and then a couple of no jumps, and then a 7:25 in round 3, 23 feet 9.5. Tobias Montclair goes next. 8:09, 8 meters and 9 centimeters. Came in round 4. He's in 5th place. That was 26 feet 6.5. So Kerry McLeod will be next to go. Here's the competition leader. Now that massive jump in round 4 has given him the lead, 8:33, 27 feet 4. But he was, prior to that point, down in 5th place. His first 3 efforts were very modest indeed. He had a no jump in round 3. Then he hit the big one in round 4. It was a no jump in round 5. Well, my computer keeps jumping from athlete to athlete. That, in fact, is Nikolai Williams, excuse me. Again, no number, no bib on his front end, but 8:13, his best in round 4, has him in 4th place, and that's where he will finish. He fouls out there in round 4. 26 feet 8 1/4 for Nikolai Williams of Jamaica in 4th place. Well, I thought we were bringing the boys 110-meter hurdles, but it looks like we're on to the women's 100-meter hurdles. 2 heats. The winner of each heat goes through to the final later on, and the 3 next quickest, 3 non-automatic qualifiers. In the men's hundreds later on, it's the first 2 in each qualifying heat, and just 1 going through to the final, the next fastest. But the reason for this situation in the women's 100-meter hurdles, just the winner guaranteed a place in the final, is because many athletes in this discipline haven't raced much this year yet, so there's a shortage of knowledge, I guess you could say, on form. So they're letting the athletes race and earn their places, but the winners here will make it through to the final. So, Demisha Roswell of Jamaica goes in lane 5. The 26-year-old is a personal best of 12:44 to win the 2022 Big 12 title, Roswell. Her season's best, pretty modest 13:27 at the Drake Relays in April in Des Moines. There is Nadine Visser, one of the very best in Europe, best of 12.36. That's a Dutch record in July last year. 3-time Olympian, finished 4th in the 100 hurdles Olympic Games race in Paris last summer. Tia Jones goes in lane 3. 12:19. She's the 3rd quickest athlete in history. She's in lane 3, right in the middle of the echelon. Fabulous form from her. 12:19 to go under the previous American record of Kenny Harrison from 2016. Grace Stark goes in lane 2. Well, there has been a revision of lanes. She was due to be in the first heat. There was an adjustment earlier on this morning. Grace Stark was meant to be in lane 5 of the second heat, but it seems to have reverted to the original. A lot of adjustments being made on the hoof, and only 4 athletes out there at the moment. According to my cards, Sarah Lavin was due to be in lane 1, the best Irish athlete, 2-time Olympian. Maybe she'll go in the next heat. It does seem as though there's been a lot of adjustments. So here we go. Roswell in 5, left to picture. Visser, second to left in 4. Tia Jones in 3. 3rd fastest in history. What's her? She'll be lightning quick, second from the right. Well, away they go. Tia Jones leading at the moment. It's very tight though. Stark going well on the far side. Visser coming through strongly. It's going to be really tight at the line, but easing off just before the line there. Tia Jones takes it. She guarantees her place in the final later on this afternoon. If you want to mark your cards, that women's pro 100-meter hurdles final is at 3:29 this afternoon. Well, that was fabulous racing. Tia Jones there, 12.36, but the wind's just over the legal limit. The wind speed plus 2.1. Anything over 2 meters per second is not allowed. Stark takes second and Visser third, but the time's so close. 12:36, 12:39, and 12:45. So little in it. But on the far side, I think very briefly, Stark got her nose in front, and Jones came back again really strongly, holding her form. Takes a lot of strength and focus to hold that form. There it is. Confirmation of the win for Tia Jones in the first heat of the 100-meter hurdles for women from Grace Stark. And Visser will have to wait and see if she goes through. And according to that caption, the first 2 are going through from each race. So there's been a lot of changes on the ground over this last hour or so. Apologies for that, but there was no doubting the winner there. Tia Jones, a very, very high caliber, 12.36. And Stark's time, 12.39. She wasn't far behind. So the athletes lining up for this second heat. And there I can see the blonde hair of Sarah Laven, who was due to be in lane 1 in that first heat. It has all been turned around, I can tell you that. So in the second heat, Megan Tapper goes in 1. Fabulous crowd here in Piedmont Park, enjoying the sunshine. It's just broken through, literally, in the last half hour or so, maybe less than that. The sun, it was a cool, well, I say cool, still pretty humid, but a very, very grey, almost dark morning when I opened my curtains earlier on today at the hotel just a few miles away in Buckhead. But here in Piedmont Park, it's a glorious day for track and field. If that wind could just ease off a little bit, that would be ideal. So the lineup for this second heat does have Sarah Laven in lane 1. Laven got a 12.62 performer at her best. Kenny Harrison goes in 2. Toby Amuzan, the world record holder, in lane 3. So many changes here. Anna Hall is a non-starter. She was due to start here, the heptathlete. Laven left of picture in lane 1. Then Harrison, second to left, former world record holder. Amuzan at the moment in lane 3, struggling to go with Harrison, and Harrison takes this one very comfortably. 12.46 for Harrison. And what was the wind doing in that one? Let's take a look. 3 meters per second, the wind in that one. It was even stronger. Harrison taking it though from Amuzan, 12.53. And Visser qualifies for that final spot with the non-automatic qualifying time, Visser, of 12.45. Harrison wins then, 12.44. An adjusted time, 12.46 initially coming up on the computer. Here's that replay now, second to left. Kenny Harrison still in fabulous form. She's a beautiful looking athlete, very, very smooth hurdler over the barriers. 32 years old now. Olympic silver medalist. Has medals from World Championships, a silver in 2019, a bronze in 2023 in Budapest. Here it is, Laven just a little bit slow out of the blocks there on the near side in lane 1. But Kenny Harrison establishing that lead very quickly, and it puts pressure on the other athletes. They're not looking at her, but they're aware of her form out of the corner of their eye, and that plays on the back of their minds. There's the full results of these 2 100-meter hurdles races for women. Tia Jones, a very classy 12.36, just beating Grace Stark in her first heat. 3 100s in it, but the wind speed just over the legal limit for those two, plus 2.1. The wind speed for Kenny Harrison, the winner of the second heat, 12.44. Her time was 3 meters per second. And Nadine Visser and Toby Amuzan also making it through to that final. Amuzan, the world record holder, trying to claw her way back to her world record form. Remember, she ran 12.12 in the semi-finals of the World Championships in Eugene, Oregon, back in 2022. For Amuzan, that would be a season's best, but for the fact that the wind was just over the limit. Next event on the track, the final of the girls' high school 100-meter hurdles. The barriers stay in place for these youngsters. Going this one, Cheyenne Hill goes in 1. Left of pictures, we look at the athletes over at the far end, just readying themselves. There's that lineup. Sol Bailey, Jasmine Robinson, Dallas Guy, and Lauren Woodall. And going really well in the middle at the moment is Jasmine Robinson. best in the heats, and by far the best here. That's a massive win for Robinson, about 3 meters ahead of the rest of them. The girl from Langston Hughes High School, what a brilliant run. 14.04 was her best coming into today. She ran 13.6 in her heat this morning, 13.8 just checking, but she proves there she was best in class by some margin here. 13.52. Wow. Sub 14-second times for high school girls are very special. And 13.52 puts her a class apart. Here it is again. Well, Jasmine Robinson right in the centre of the echelon there. Built up that lead bigger and bigger. Getting second there is Sol Bailey. Bailey's time 14.18. But very, very smooth hurdling here. And the USA is the powerhouse in women's hurdling at senior level, at world-class level. They have the majority of the top 10 on the global scene when it comes to 100-meter hurdles. There it is, and in fact, Dallas Guy there taking second place in lane 4. 14.18 her time. And Dallas Guy, well, she's a 13.81 athlete at her best. Ran 13.48 in qualifying this morning on the little stadium across the road. So next event on the track, the pro male athletes, 100 meters races, 2 heats coming at us. The first 2 in each heat will go through to the final, which is at 3:21 this afternoon, so in about an hour and 20 minutes. Volunteers doing a fabulous job out there to get all those barriers, 50 barriers moved off the track very quickly. And there is the lineup for this first heat of 2 in the men's 100 meters. DeAndre Daly of Jamaica in 1. Crevant Charleston goes in 2. Akani Simbina is in fabulous form. The Olympic silver medalist, 3-time an Olympian. Silver medalist in the 4x100 meters relay for South Africa. He ran the anchor leg in Paris last summer. Udodi Onwuzurike goes in 4 for Nigeria, and Kadrian Golson for Jamaica goes in 5. The youngster there is DeAndre Bailey. DeAndre Bailey Daly of Jamaica is just 1. It's a warm afternoon here, and the humidity climbing all the time after that early morning rain, just to compound things. If the wind would just ease off a bit, and it is still pretty windy here in Piedmont Park in Atlanta, that would make it just about perfect for these sprinters. Lots of mums and dads and family, but other track and field fans able to get up very close and personal with this 200-meter track here in Piedmont Park. At its highest, that track above the undulating ground of the park, it's about 8 feet high. And of course, it has to match certain criteria for the times to be valid here at this Adidas Atlanta City Games. There in lane 5, Kadrian Golson, 9.94. He ran a couple of years ago in the heats at the Jamaican Championships. His best this year, back in March, was 10.40. He'll be looking to go a lot quicker here, and he'll need to run a lot quicker than that, I think, to make the top 2 here, or indeed to make even that 3rd spot in this race, perhaps with a quick time. Remember, just the first 2 go through by right to the final later on. They've got about an hour and a half until that final, and then 1 non-automatic qualifier. Whoever is the quickest 3rd placer of these 2 heats will go through to the final. Fastest time in the world this year is by Akani Simbine. He is the world number 1 this year. He goes in lane 3 in the center of these 5. Simbine of South Africa, back on April the 12th. Running 9.90. It was altitude assisted, it has to be said. The thinner air of Botswana back in April, enabling him to run 9.90. Crevant Charleston, He goes in lane 2. 9.90 this year. So away they go then. Good running in lane 4 from Onwuzurike. But here comes Simbine, just easing away, looking very relaxed indeed, winning there by the fat end of a metre. Simbine there. Well, 4th at the Paris Olympics over 100 metres when he ran his personal best of 9.82. Winning there very comfortably, 10.13 Simbine. I think there's plenty more in the tank. And the win there, 1.7 behind them. So the win was legal for Simbine. 10.13 his confirmed time. Second place on Onwuzurike of Nigeria. His time, 10.20. Not so far behind, but he qualifies okay as well for the final later on. And then DeAndre Daly, well, he'll have to wait and see. The youngest in the race at just 20. He'll have to wait and see if he goes through. His time, 10.29 in third place. Kadrian Goldson, 10.37. And in fifth, Cravant Charleston. His time, 10.46. There is confirmation of that win for Akane Simbine. He looked, frankly, like he was running very, very calmly indeed. I don't think there was any urgency there for Simbine. So often athletes, when they have 2 races in the same afternoon or the same morning, indoors or outdoors, they go better in the second race. And Simbine now will go away and relax, maybe get a rub down on those legs and prepare, keeping loose. That's why the warm conditions are great for the sprinters, keeps them very, very loose. But Simbine there, a far more comfortable winner of that first men's 100 heat than the clock would suggest, with 10.13 to Onwuzurike's 10.20. That for Onwuzurike, by the way, was a season's best. It improved on his 10.29 from Gainesville back in April. So the second heat then. Jalen Slade goes in lane 1 on the far side. 10.09 his PR, 10.44 this year. Riem Ford goes in 2 for Jamaica. Slade the American in 1. Ford of Jamaica in 2. Oblique Seville goes for Jamaica in 3. 9.81 in the Paris Olympics. There is the lineup. And Israel Olatunde goes in lane 5. His best, 10.12. Lane 4, second to left is empty. That was meant to be Arian Knighton. Going best, I think, at the moment is Oblique Seville. He's a 10.08 man this year. Oh, and he eases up there. And I think maybe was feeling something. Very hard to tell where. But Oblique Seville had the lead until about 70 metres. And then I think was just easing up over the last 30 and might have been beaten. Yeah, Oblique Seville finishing in third place. Jalen Slade taking that one. His time, 10.50. And the wind plus 1.1. In second place, Israel Olatunde. His time, 10.52. And in third, Oblique Seville, 10.53. Now, unofficially, 10.53 makes him significantly slower than DeAndre Daly in the first heat. So Seville will not qualify with that time. Well, according to that caption, only the winner qualifying by right for the final. I was told just an hour ago that the first 2 in each heat would go through to the final. So I think Onwuzurike from the first heat will go through by right, along with Olatunde from the second heat, even though he was quite slow there, 10.52 compared with 1 or 2 in the first heat. And there it is, confirmation of the 3 non-automatic qualifiers, according to that caption. Simbine, Onwuzurike, Daly, Goldson and Charleston and Slade all making it through. Cravant Charleston, well, he's kind of unlucky, Charleston, but he did finish 5th in the first heat in 10.46. Only Jalen Slade, the winner of the second heat, quicker than Cravant Charleston. So once again, the trusty volunteers getting everything set up in between races. Lightning quick, their work. It's quite astonishing. Next event on the track will be the final of the high school boys 100 meters. That'll be followed by the final of the high school girls 100. And just so you know what's coming up, those are at 2:20. So we've got about a 12-minute gap now before the next track event. And then at 2:30 is the pro men's 200 meters. Well, for those of you who may not know, the Atlanta Track Club hosts the largest 10K in the world every year, right here in Atlanta on July the 4th on Independence Day. It's one of the city's most iconic traditions and a celebration of running like no other.
Living my best life.
KC.com/Peachtree.
La la la, living my best life. La la la, living my best life.
Yeah, the Peachtree 10K right here in Atlanta on July the 4th. Visit atlantatrackclub.org to learn more and secure your spot while you still can. And if you miss lottery registration, you still have a chance to be part of it. You can still register for a limited time by becoming an Atlanta Track Club member. That means guaranteed entry, race day perks, and more. Head over to atlantatrackclub.org and grab your spot. 10K, the friendly distance for people easing into running after 5K, next distance up. Then, of course, you have to step up a bit, move up to the half marathon, and then the simplicity of 42.2 kilometers, 26.2 miles, the full marathon. Good luck with your entering Boston, Chicago, or New York. They are massively oversubscribed, those races. The men's 200 meters, the next event on the track for the pro athletes. There is that start list. Demish Gay, Zarnell Hughes, Doreen Richards, Wade Van Niekerk, world record holder over 400 meters, Van Niekerk, the South African, and Brian Lavelle. Well, Van Niekerk, since he set that world record for one lap of an athletics track back in 2016 at the Rio Olympic Games, gosh, was that really 9 years ago now? He's had a tough old time of it. A year later, he injured his knee playing touch rugby, can you believe? It's kind of a soft version of American football. Injured his knee and was out of the sport for a couple of years and has worked really hard to get back to full fitness. And at 32, I guess you could say that because of those years out injured, Van Niekerk is running on maybe 28-year-old legs. He's had great recent form. He showed great form. Although this is his first race of the year, we know that last year he was in good form. And his personal best for 200 meters, 19.84. He's coming into this fresh, is Van Niekerk. That great recent form we're referring to as last year, excuse me. We'll take a closer look at these athletes when we get to look at them. There is Powell. Javon Powell. So this actually was a race that was supposed to have taken place right at the beginning of the top of the show. About 40 minutes ago, it's the men's B final of the 200 metres. Josephus Lyles, the younger brother of the great Noah Lyles, the Olympic champion. At 100 metres, 1993 is best though. At 26-year-old, he's still a world-class performer. Sean Bailey goes in lane 2. Just 4 athletes in this B race. Bailey, the 27-year-old Jamaican, has a best of 20.84 from last year. This season, 21.27. There is the lineup then for this B race of the men's 200 metres. Bailey, Lyles, Godwin and Powell. Javon Powell, well, he's a 20.21 performer. Most of these men are 400 metre specialists. Powell certainly is best of 44.5 for 400 from last year. His best 200, 20.21. Didn't get out of the heats, mind you, in the 400 metres in Paris last year at the Olympic Games. As a silver medal from the World Championships in the 4x400 metres relay from Eugene, Oregon, back in 2022, and attended at the University of Florida. So many of the Jamaicans, of course, educated in the US collegiate system on scholarships. So as you see these athletes now, right of picture is Sean Bailey. He too a 400 metre specialist, 44.43 he ran back in 2023. His form recently over 400 metres. Well, he's building into the season, I guess you could say. Back in mid-April he ran 45.6 for 400 metres. Did Sean Bailey, the Jamaican. He's right of picture. Second to right, Josephus Lyles. This year, only one competition outdoors. That was a fourth in a 100. He ran a windy 10.40. His brother Noah Lyles was due to be racing today. Literally had to pull out yesterday. He's got a slight pain in his foot. Spoke to the meet director, Mark Wetmore. He said it's not serious. He's just being ultra cautious. And when you're the quickest man in the world, you have to be ultra cautious. You can't take any chances. It's a big, big season coming at these guys in the Diamond League circuit, mostly in Europe over the next 3 or 4 months, and then, of course, the US trials midsummer, and the season culminating in those World Championships in Japan, in Tokyo, in the Olympic Stadium that never saw crowds back in 2021. Those World Championships in early August. So Bailey to right a picture, Josephus Lyles second to right in lanes 2 and 3, and Elijah Godwin goes in 4th, second to left. Godwin at 25 is a good 200 metre runner, 20.32 he ran back in 2021. He's only 24, but he hasn't improved on that in 4 years. His season's best 20.80 back in early April in Gainesville, Florida. His best though, 400 metre time, is 44.34. He's strong, so expect a real battle from these 4 as they come through the second half of this race. They'll hold their form well. Bailey to the right of picture, Josephus Lyles second to right, Elijah Godwin third, second to left, Javon Powell to left of picture. They may not be 200 metre specialists, but they'll put on a mighty strong race here. Looks like Elijah Godwin, second to left's leading at the moment. A straight 200 though, it's hard to judge, but Elijah Godwin has judged this one best of all. He's going to win it pretty comfortably by several metres. Elijah Godwin crossed the line, 20.34. That is great running from Godwin. Wow. Well, Elijah Godwin setting a season's best there of 20.34. The win, by the way, well, it seems to have turned around, minus 1.2. So they're running to a slight headwind there, and that's a great run from Godwin. Wins very comfortably from Javon Powell to left of picture. Powell working really hard to stay with him, but that's a dominant run from Godwin. Well, Godwin appreciates this more than most people. He survived a near fatal javelin accident back in 2019, 6 years ago. He's a World Championship bronze medalist, is Godwin. from the 4x400 meters relay in Eugene, Oregon, back in 2022. Godwin then confirming his good form into a slight headwind. He won gold at the World Relays last week in China, in the 4x400 meters relay. And also took gold at the World Indoor Championships, also in China, back in March. So Godwin then a season's best, 20:34. That's very encouraging, and that into a strong headwind. Wow, that is worth down towards 20 seconds, flat, with maybe a tailwind behind him. And 20:34, I can tell you, even though he was running into a headwind, only 2 100s off his lifetime best from 4 years ago. That is something else. Javon Powell second, 20:69 in that one. Josephus Lyles 21:02, and Sean Bailey 21:37 in fourth place. Well, I've already mentioned the what a wonderful job the staff are doing to get conditions right here. It's a very, very intense afternoon's work for these fellas. 110-meter hurdles coming up next. It's the boys' 110-meter hurdles too. This is a race that should have been run a little while ago. Indeed, this race was scheduled for about 40 minutes ago. Not quite sure what the substantial adjustments to the timetable are down to, but it matters not. There is the lineup. Vincent Nana goes in 1. Tom Fitzgerald in 2. Amari Scott, the fastest in qualifying this morning, in 3. Dalen Penson goes in 4, and then Ibrahim Bangura goes in 5. This will be a close one between Amari Scott and Dalen Penson. In the heats this morning, they ran 13:84. That was Amari Scott, but Dalen Penson was breathing down his neck with 13:87. 3 100s between them this morning. Ibrahim Bangura was third fastest in qualifying, not far behind them as well, with 13.98. Bangura from Cambridge High School will be left of picture as we see these 5 youngsters. Dalen Penson, well, he goes in lane 4, second to left as we watch these guys. And Penson, not far off his lifetime best of 13:76. Runs for Sandy Creek High School. 3A 110 hurdles champion. He's also a Georgia Tech football commit, 4-star athlete. Also held offers from Stanford, USC and Duke. He's quite some athlete, is Penson. Ranked first in Georgia for 110-meter hurdles. He will want to get back that #1 status here against Amari Scott in this final. This is a real clash of the Titans. There is Scott. Be right in the center of the 5. Runs for Southwest DeKalb. 37th in the country over 300-meter hurdles. He's strong because 300-meter hurdles, like 400-meter hurdles, a real test of stamina. And runner-up in 4A states. Vincent Nana goes in lane 1. Now, I can't see his name on the start list from this morning's heats, but he clearly made it through. He ran 14:06 in qualifying, even though he wasn't on the start sheets that I held. He's the extreme rider picture, Vince Nana. Tom Fitzgerald, 4th quickest in qualifying, is second to right. He ran 14:04 this morning, very close to his lifetime best. Oh, Fitzgerald. So Nana to ride a picture in 1. Tom Fitzgerald in 2. Amari Scott, the quickest in qualifying this morning, right in the center of your picture there, in lane 3. Dalen Penson goes in 4, second to left. Just sitting down and keeping calm at the moment, Penson there. You can see him looking very, very cool. He's a special athlete. Torn between track and football, it would seem. Most of these lads are 17 or 18. And Ibrahim Bangura to the left of picture. Well, he could cause an upset here. Bangura from Cambridge High School. Not far behind Scott and Penson in qualifying this morning. I can tell you that Tom Fitzgerald will be racing in the elite men's 200-meter hurdles later on against the senior pro athletes, including he'll be racing Alison dos Santos of Brazil, who was only the world champion in the 400-meter hurdles in 2022. So this, the first of 3 races that Tom Fitzgerald is scheduled to do today. He had his heats this morning at this discipline. He's got this final now. And then at, well, in about 40 minutes' time, he's due to run the 200-meter hurdles against the pros. A little bit of delay in proceedings before these youngsters get their race done. It just racks up the pressure even more. But this is all great experience. They will, I'm sure, all these lads be offered scholarships to good track and field universities or colleges. And they can add this experience to what comes in future. It enables you to deal with the nerves, to get on top of those nerves and use the adrenaline in challenges to come. So these youngsters, well, this is an extraordinarily long delay. And I guess it's another test of character. How well do you cope with it? Tallest in the field, isn't he? Amari Scott, the quickest this morning, and by 2 or 3 inches, I think the tallest of the 5 lads out there. I know that many of his schoolmates at Southwest DeKalb will be watching this one. He ran a massive personal best this morning. His personal best before today was 13.98, and then this morning in the heats he ran 13.84. He was the fastest, and they climb into their blocks now for this boys' high school final of the 110-meter hurdles. Vincent Nana in 1, Thomas Fitzgerald in 2, Amari Scott the quickest this morning, qualifying in 3. Dale Penson was right up behind him in qualifying. He goes in 4, and left a picture, Ibrahim Bangura in lane 5. Now, it's so technically demanding, this one. Dale Penson going best at the moment, and Amari Scott's now to come back from this. Dale Penson storming away to this one. Good running from Bangura as well on the near side. And it is 1 and 2, Dale Penson and Bangura. It is 4 and 5. Amari Scott there never really made up for hitting that first barrier, I think. Back in 3rd place. And he will be mighty, mighty frustrated. Will Amari Scott with that run. 13.70, mind you. The time from Dale Penson there. That is a new PR. Just waiting to see what the wind was doing. Plus 0.8. A massive personal best and a brilliant run from Dale Penson. The wind plus 0.8, so it could have been stronger, but look at this form here. And when you get ahead like that earlier in the hurdles, it puts pressure on the others because they're aware of what you're doing. They're trying to concentrate in their own race, focused on their barriers, but in the back of their minds, they know well they're being beaten and well beaten by a brilliant run here from Dale Penson. Wow! Absolutely brilliant. No need to dip at the line. And Dale Penson, the massively talented high schooler from Sandy Creek, takes that one with 13.70. It's a personal best for him. Bangura 14 seconds dead. That's also would have been a personal best but for his 13.8 this morning. And Amari Scott 14.10 on this occasion with Fitzgerald in fourth, Nana in fifth. Fitzgerald, of course, has got the senior 200-meter hurdles coming up against the pros in about 40 minutes time. But for Dale Penson, that is a class apart, and he's separated on the clock by the 14-second barrier from the rest of them. Well, a nice crowd here in Piedmont Park. There's the scene. The wind looks to have eased off. We've had a few strong gusts affecting results in the last hour or so, but now it seems to have eased off. And in that boys 110-meter hurdles, remember, it was plus 0.8. Just about perfect for these athletes. In the hurdles, you don't want too strong a tailwind because it can blow you into the barriers. It makes you overstride and get to the barriers too soon. So a nice steady wind like that, just about perfect. Well, the boys 100 meters comes up next. It will be starting, of course, just halfway down this 200-meter track. There's the lineup. Stephen Mitchell, Jamel Beatty, CJ Wilburn, Cedric Jordan and Jordan Moulton making the lineup here. Stephen Mitchell, a 10:58 performer. These athletes all had to qualify this morning from the 100 meters first round. CJ Wilburn was the quickest of them. Cedric Jordan, well, he ran 10:71 this morning. Cedric Jordan, he will go in lane 4. CJ Wilburn, he was the fastest this morning with 10:66 in qualifying. That was not far off his personal best. Stephen Mitchell goes in lane 1. Mitchell this morning was 5th quickest of these men, 10.78 in qualifying. So here we go. Mitchell to right of picture, Beatty second to right, Wilburn's in the centre, was the quickest this morning in qualifying, but he's got a battle on his hands here against Cedric Jordan, who's going to take it over on the far side. Wow, what a run from Steve Mitchell. He was the 5th slowest this morning in qualifying with 10.78. It was pretty close. CJ Wilburn was the quickest with 10.66, but Steve Mitchell from lane 1 has contradicted the form from this morning with that win. That is brilliant. Stephen Mitchell from Chapel Hill High School, 10:58 this morning. Who cares what he ran just then? I don't suppose he cares. Boy, oh boy. Well, he runs 10:53 there, does Stephen Mitchell. And that is a brilliant run. It's a new personal best. And being interviewed by Carrie Tollefson there, 1500-meter Olympian herself from 2004. CJ Wilburn, 10:68, was the quickest this morning in qualifying, but here having to settle for second place. And Jordan Moulton, 10:69, a close third, and with Jordan, Cedric Jordan, in 4th. And Jamel Beatty in 5th. Well, the wind behind them there, plus 1.7, absolutely perfect for the sprinters. Just gives them a nice little extra gust down the home straight. Girls 100-meter heat finalists go next. Kaylin Strawn, Taylor Gollett, Johnnery Kinchin, Aidan Kennard and Mina Lovelace going in this one. And there is Kennard. She goes right in lane 4. Does Kinnard from Westlake High School, 11.74 performer. Into their blocks they go then. Jennery Kitchen in lane 3 was the quickest this morning. Strawn is in 1 to right of picture. Taylor Goulet second to right. Kitchen the quickest this morning. Is she going to be quickest here? Second to left is Kinnard. She's going well. Lovelace to left of picture, but it's going to be really tight at the line. I think it's going to be taken. Oh, again we have a surprise. Taylor Goulet taking second place there. She was second fastest this morning with 10.71 to Kinchen's 10.69, but she turns the tables on her rival there. Brilliant stuff. Nobody likes sport to be predictable, and it's anything but predictable here today. That girls' high school 100-meter hurdles final. Wow. Taylor Goulet taking it there from lane 2. She was quick out of the blocks. Always had her nose in front. It was dead even there about halfway, but then just kept battling away and just finishes the strongest. Holds her form best towards the line there. Second to right does Taylor Goulet. And Goulet taking it for Woodward Academy. Brilliant stuff. 11.52 was her PR coming into this morning. And there she runs, just waiting for that to come through. Well, the crowd enjoying them there, loving every unfolding drama here on the track in Piedmont Park. This third edition of the Adidas Atlanta City Games, producing some very fine performances, and the best pros yet to come. Remember, from 3 to 4, you can catch that on NBC Network. I shall be leaving you at just before 3 o'clock local time in about 20 minutes time. And you can then catch the rest of the afternoon's action from 3 to 4 with Paul Swangard on play-by-play for NBC, along with Addo Bolden, of course, former world champion at 200 meters. The men's 200 meters here in Piedmont Park next to go. The athletes setting up their blocks. They need to be precisely positioned for the athletes. They adjust them to the fraction of an inch, to the millimeter, if you like it in metric distances. And they need to be. But this is a superb quality field. Look at that. Wade van Niekerk, the world record holder, over 400 meters. Dream Richards in fabulous form. He recently in the Grand Slam track series, just 2 weeks ago in Miramar in Florida. He won the 200 meters in 19.86. He's going to be tough to beat here. Dream Richards, well, his personal best was in Birmingham, UK, back in August 2022 when he won the Commonwealth Games. He ran 19.80 there. And Richards here goes in lane 3. He is a man who is super consistent, great 400-meter performer as well. Brian Lavelle, just 21 years old, the Jamaican, goes in lane 5. There he is, powerfully built, 19.97 performer. That was in June last year on home soil in Kingston, Jamaica. Hasn't run a 200 yet this year, but he has run 10.05 for 100. He's in good form over the short sprint, and he's run 47.9, a little stretch out back in February over 400. Wade van Niekerk, such a special talent, the South African, 32 years old now. His best 19.84. He is, well, a legend in sprinting. It's the first race of 2025 for the South African. Last year he only ran 400 meters. That was a 44.7 in New York back in June. His world record for 400, 43.03. That 43-second barrier is tantalizingly close. Dream Richards goes in the center. We just saw him go out of picture. Dream Richards, who is the world indoor 400 champion from 2022. Great 200 racer as well. Watch him, the man from Trinidad and Tobago in 3. Zarnell Hughes of Great Britain left a picture. Hughes, first Briton to run sub 10 and sub 20 in the same season, a World Championship bronze medalist back in 2023. He's in 2. And then Demish Gay, right a picture there for Jamaica, a 20.48 athlete, although that was some 8 years ago now. Came 6th in the Tokyo Olympic Games in the 4x400 metres relay, but he's a 400 metre specialist too. So several of these men are 400 metre specialists, in particular Demish Gay, right of picture in lane 1 for Jamaica, and Wade van Niekerk, second to left for South Africa. Calling van Niekerk a 400 metre specialist would be the understatement of the day, I guess. He's the world record holder. And indeed, he won the World Championships at 400 metres in 2015 and 2017. Although he is super quick at 200 as well. He took a silver medal at the World Championships in 2017 in London in the UK. So don't write off Van Niekerk second to left. And this, a big, big test for him. Always nerve-wracking for any athlete when you come out for your first race of the season. Now remember, he spends much of the year in South Africa. He's from South Africa. He hasn't bothered to race in the Southern Hemisphere summer. He's sat it out. He's trained to get into perfect form. And here he comes, Wade van Niekerk, his first race of 2025. It's not going to be season defining, but it could dictate how much confidence he goes into this early half of the summer with, or how much he has a question mark in his own mind. Straight 200s are rarely run. There is the lineup though for this straight 200. Demish Gay, Zarnell Hughes, Jareem Richards, Wade van Niekerk. In his first race of the year, the world record holder in the 400. He goes in 4, and Brian Lavelle will be left of picture. Zarnell Hughes too, this is an important race for the Briton, 29 years old now. Didn't start in the 200 metres in Paris, had a hamstring last year at the Olympic Games, was 8th in the previous Olympic Games over 100 metres in Tokyo. But he is second to right there, Zarnell Hughes, the British record holder at 100 and 200 metres with 9.83 in 1973. Here we go then. The men's 200, Demish Gay in lane 1, right of picture. Zarnell Hughes 2, Jareem Richards in the centre, Wade van Niekerk second to left, and Brian Lavelle in lane 5, left of picture. You have to judge it right. It's an optical illusion, the straight 200. If you go flat out the first 100, you'll misjudge it. But he's going well at the moment, and look at Zarnell Hughes, second to right. Zarnell Hughes going to take this one, keeping Jareem Richards at bay. Tight at the line there, 19.56. It's super fast. It's been rounded down to 19.55, but the wind just over the legal limit at plus 2.2. What a run from Zarnell Hughes, 19.55. That is an any conditions PR for him, but it's just over the legal limit, the wind there. How frustrating. Jareem Richards, 1963 in second place. Great sprinting there for these fellas. And Wade van Niekerk, a really solid third with 20.03. Well, he was very quick out of the blocks there, Zarnell Hughes. He looks sharp, doesn't he? Was never going to be caught. 1 metre the gap at the line, and they were pulling away. Hughes and Richards trying desperately to get back to him. But Zarnell Hughes, well, he's been in good form at Grand Slam track in Miramar last week. He ran 9.87, a windy 9.87, and then 20.13 in the 200. Confirmation of that win for Zarnell Hughes, 19.55. How frustrating that wind is just over the limit at 19.55. Jareem Richards a long way under 20 as well there in second place for Trinidad and Tobago. Wade van Niekerk a solid third, 20.03, with Lavelle and Gay for Jamaica in 4th and 5th. Well, Zarnell Hughes there, being interviewed in the mixed zone, what we call the mixed zone. And to come now, the finals, the boys and girls 200 metres. The women's 200 metres has to be contested as well. A couple more schools races on top of that. The women's 200, well, this is a straight final. The athletes out there and ready. Kaiser Chandler goes in at lane 1, right of picture, 22:37. That was in a semi-final of the NCAAs back in 2023. Fourth in the World Relays last week in the 4x100. She ran the second leg. Talitha Diggs goes in 2, 22:45, her lifetime best. She's an 11:01 100 performer. Didn't qualify for the Olympics last year. Semi-finalist in the 400 meters at the World Championships back in 2022 and has a gold medal from the 4x4. Tamara Clark goes in 3, Lina Irby-Jackson in 4, and Aliyah Abrams goes in 5 for Guyana. She's a 23:20 athlete. Didn't get past the repechage round of the 400 in Paris last year. Lina Irby-Jackson, a best of 22:25 for her, the American in 4. In 3, Tamara Clark, lifetime best of 21:92. Not many athletes get under 22 seconds. That is special. Talitha Diggs, best of 22:45. USATF champion over 400 meters back in 2022. Look for Diggs to come through strongly in the latter stages. She's a 49.9 performer at 400. And Kaiser Chandler goes in lane 1. In good form recently with that run in the World Relays just last week in China. Well, who's going to come out on top in this one? Remember, Zarnell Hughes started fast and held on in the men's 200, going really well at the moment is Lina Irby-Jackson, second to left. Irby-Jackson looks like she's going to take this one. She's a 49.8 400-meter runner. She's got the stamina, and she's going strongly here and pulling away from the rest of them, winning by several meters there. 22:23 for Irby-Jackson. Well, it's rounded down to 22:22 for Irby-Jackson. And the wind is legal. It's a new personal best, plus 1.7. Brilliant stuff from Irby-Jackson. It is a straight 200 though. Of course, different conditions to the bend racing of a track 200, a full track 200. Tamara Clark, 22:71, taking second place. And in third place, Talitha Diggs with a 22:79, setting a season's best. Well, reasons to celebrate for Lina Irby-Jackson there. 22.22. In any conditions, that is a personal best. Although it won't, of course, count in the normal world rankings because of the fact it's a straight 200 with a nice tailwind, plus 1.7. She came out of the blocks really well, did Talitha Diggs, but then they hunted her down, and Irby-Jackson, second away from the camera there, right of picture, building on that form mid-race and then staying strong through the latter stages, holding a form so well. And in fact, look, over the last 50, going away from the rest of this field. Brilliant from Irby-Jackson. Well, they enjoyed that. Let's confirm the result for you of that women's 200 meters. Irby-Jackson, well, 4 or 5 meters better than the rest of them with a new any conditions 200 meters. Personal best of 22.22. There it is. The wind was just about perfect for these ladies. Irby-Jackson, Tamara Clark, and Talitha Diggs, 1, 2, 3 there. Kaiser Chandler in 4th place, and Aliyah Abrams down in 5th. Great sprinting from Irby-Jackson, though. That is a big, big gap between her and the rest. Well, for those of you who may not know, Atlanta Track Club hosts the largest 10K in the world every year, right here in Atlanta on July the 4th. It's one of the city's most iconic traditions and a celebration of running like no other.
Living my best life.
KC.com/Peachtree.
La la la, living my best life. La la la, living my best life.
Well, living your best life, yeah. Live life to the full, that's what I always think. Carpe diem is my personal motto. Make every day count. Make sure you enjoy every day. And although the demand for places in that race are absolutely massive. Peachtree Road Race. You can still register for a limited time by becoming an Atlanta Track Club member. That means guaranteed entry, race day perks, and more. Head over to atlantatrackclub.org and grab your spot. Well, the women's long jump is underway. Now, 6 athletes in this one, high caliber field too. My computer system temporarily is just frozen, so unable to give you that one. Apologies for that. Very, very busy day here in Piedmont Park. The men's pole vault. Well, the pole vault, desperately tough event. And here is Quenisha Burks, 4th in the long jump at the World Championships in Eugene back in 2022. Finished outside the podium spots by half an inch, can you believe? Came 2nd in the US Championships back in 2023 to Davis Woodall. And she's a Tokyo Olympian, didn't advance from qualifying. Now, finished 2nd in this competition last year behind Tara Davis-Woodall. She's a 6.98 jumper, that's 22 feet 10 3/4. That is way, way up there in the very best in the world. And that looks like a nice effort. That looks like a really nice effort. Quenisha Burks opened with 6.73. That was 22 feet 1, and then 6 meters 80, 22 feet 3 3/4 in the second round. She leads at the moment, Quenisha Burks, from Jasmine Moore. Back to this men's pole vault. Well, that pole vault will get back to it, but this is Anna Hall, who is a special performer. She is the 4th best athlete ever in the women's long jump, in the women's heptathlon, excuse me. And Hall, who scratched from the hurdles earlier. Now, 6.22 in the second round, 6.38 in the first round. Here's Hall, slow. Oh, that was her third round effort. She runs through 6.38 her opener, then 6.22. She's down in 5th place at the moment. Quenisha Burks still leads. Burks, by the way, in round 3, going out to 6.80 again, the same as her round 2 distance. So she has the 2 best jumps of the competition. That's 22 feet 3 3/4 from Jasmine Moore, 6.69, 21 feet 11 1/2. And S.A. Broom of Nigeria, 6.61 with her second round effort, has her in 3rd, 21 feet 8 1/4. We're halfway through the 3rd round. Now, Claire Bryant, she's a 6.96 jumper. That's her 22 feet 10. She's reigning world indoor champion from Nanjing in China just a few weeks ago, back in March. She's in fabulous form, oozing confidence. Good speed. That again looked maybe like she was overstepping the mark. Does she get the green flag or the green light? Oh, they're measuring it. I think that might have been pretty special from Claire Bryant. She fouled out in the first round. In the second round, 6 meters 24. That was 20 feet 5 3/4. But this third round, I'm sure she'll elevate herself from 5th place. What's she going to get? The crowd looking on with anticipation. Next to go is S.A. Broom of Nigeria. Now she is one of the longest jumpers in history with 7 meters 17. That's 23 feet 6 1/4. That's an African record, in fact, from 4 years ago. Her season's best, a modest 6:14. I can tell you that Claire Bryant has taken the lead. It was a big third round effort for the world indoor champion. 6 meters 93, 22 feet 9 now holds the lead. Quenisha Burks shunted down to second with that brace of 6 meter 80 jumps, 22 feet 3 3/4 jumps. What can Broome do here? Round 3. Well, that effort from Claire Bryant was superb. I thought it looked close to being a no jump, but she stayed behind the front edge of the board. What has Broome done here? She's down in fourth, 6:51, 6 meters 51 and 6 meters 61. That best effort in the second round, 21 feet 8 1/4. Jasmine Moore next to go. She's down in third place. No jump in the first round. And then a 6:69, close to her season's best of 6:79 in the second round. 6:69, 21 feet 11 1/2. Here she goes. This closes round 3 for Jasmine Moore. What can she do? Oh no. Bad takeoff position, rotating forwards in the air. And if you can imagine, when you're up in the air, if your head starts rolling forward over your legs, it pushes your legs down into the sand and you lose distance. You don't want that. You want your legs stretched out in front of you with a leg shoot, stretching for distance. So she'll be frustrated with that one, I'm sure, Jasmine Moore. It was a no jump in any case. And that is the situation at halfway. Claire Bryant leading with 6 meters 93. Quenisha Burke 6:80. Jasmine Moore third, 6 meters 69. S.A. Broome 6:61. Chantal Malone 6:44 came in round 3. And Anna Hall at the moment down on 6th and last place with 6 meters 38. She can go so much better than that, Anna Hall. Had a quick chat with her here in the park yesterday when she was warming up, just going through her paces. She said, yep, she's wintered really well. The knee surgery from last year is now long gone. It took her a long time to recover from it, and when she competed in Paris, she was far from fully fit. Took a long rest after Paris to get that knee fully recovered. She said, I'm really thankful we did take that recovery. I'm pain-free now. But she says, I will say I'm less sharp than I would usually be. Thankfully, for Anna Hall, this is a long, long summer. It's mid-May. Those World Championships pretty much 4 months away. Of course, she's got to negotiate the US Championships first, make the first 3 to make the US team. But for an athlete of her caliber, that would normally be a foregone conclusion. Well, the grey, damp skies of this morning have been replaced by glorious blue skies with just a few clouds scudding across the Atlanta cloudscape. There's the scene here in Piedmont Park. Good crowds here alongside the specially constructed 200-meter straight there to right of picture. The pole vault and long jump runways to left of picture, as you can see, just about 50 yards between the two facilities. And Atlanta Track Club deserve a massive slap on the back for pulling this together and putting on this spectacular event in a rather glorious little park. It's kind of a natural bowl, this park. So back to this men's pole vault. Matt Ludwig leading, by the way, with 5 meters 63. That is season's best, 18 feet 5 1/2 for Ludwig. His competitors here, Austin Miller, Casey Lightfoot, Nate Richards, Trey Oates, and Cole Walsh, actually a non-starter. He's pulled out at the last minute, Cole Walsh. That's a great shame. Hope he's not hurt in any way. Austin Miller in second place, having cleared 5:63, 18 5 1/2. At the second time of asking, Matt Ludwig on the same height cleared it first time, so he holds the lead. And that was Austin Miller, just failing at 5 meters 73, 18 feet 9 1/2. Matt Ludwig about to go now at 5 meters 73, 18 feet 9.5. Well, Matt Ludwig already leads here, although he has the same height as Austin Miller. He cleared the previous height, 5.63, 18.5.5 first time. If he clears this, then he will probably, almost certainly have won this competition. No, he doesn't. We're getting up to really high, world-class heights now, but it does look like Matt Ludwig is going to win this pole vault competition. I'm going to have to leave you very shortly. You can watch the rest of the pro racing on NBC between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. here in Atlanta. Local time, it's about 2 minutes to 3. So my name's Tim Hutchings. I've loved having you with me. But for now, bye-bye.